Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. Well, today's expression, pushing the boat out, or to push the boat out, means when you spend more money than usual. So, for example, you can say, well, this weekend I'm going to push the boat out and go to a nice restaurant. Or you could say, for example, oh, it's Christmas time, or whatever celebration you have, I'm going to push the boat out and buy some extra gifts. It means when you spend extra money and you do something lavish to perhaps be kind to yourself. And we always refer to that as pushing the boat out. Now, as you know, we are an island, so a lot of our idioms and expressions are all about the sea, water, boats. We had one the other day, didn't we? About the whole 9 yards, which was referring to shipping. So to push the boat out means to do something lavish, something expensive, either for yourself or someone else. Another example might be, oh, this weekend I'm going to push the boat out and go on a little trip somewhere. And when you say push the boat out, nobody thinks that you have a boat, unless perhaps a non-native speaker might think that. But everyone knows that expression means to spend a little bit extra. Speaking of boats, here where I am right now in southwest Scotland, there used to be a massive shipping industry, and it employed many people on the west coast of Scotland, on the River Clyde. They used to make and build boats. Well, that's long gone. I think that finished in the 70s and the 80s. But on some parts of the river, you can still see the old machinery, and you can still see the hooks on the banks of the river. The banks of the river simply means the side of the river. So it's very interesting. And it's the same when you go to the coast. You can see where the ferries used to come in and out, because we used to have ferry ports. You could travel by boat, over to Ireland and different places. I mean, that's all gone now as well. But in these days of recession and prices rising, they're looking at bringing it all back. So yes, boats played a very important part of our culture. Currently, in the Scottish government, there is a scandal which is called the ferry fiasco. Now, you probably know fiasco means a mess or something that's just crazy. Well, the ferry fiasco is a term that refers to an ongoing political controversy here, because they do still build some boats. They need to, because of course we have many islands which people like to go to, and there's always people wanting to travel to the mainland to do shopping in these things. Flying to these islands is very, very expensive. So we do build some boats, but not very many. And the ferry fiasco is relating to a political controversy involving the construction of 2 ferries. Now, you know what a ferry is. A ferry is just a boat service which takes you from one place to another, but we do actually call the boats ferries as well. There's been all kinds of questions asked about how the contract was awarded, because it looks like one of the companies involved had preferential treatment, and they're busy investigating that. These political scandals can go on for years, while they get investigated. So that's our ferry fiasco. But on a lighter note, I see that. Do you remember the singer Bonnie Tyler? She's the one that sang "Total Eclipse of the Heart." Do you remember? Turn around, bright eyes. Well, I'm not going to sing it. I think all of the birds will fly away if I start to sing. Anyway, Bonnie Tyler, she's now 69, and she was out sailing with her husband on their yacht, and something happened, and she's a bit afraid of water anyway, so she got a bit of a shock. And so now she's decided to learn to swim at age 69. I like Bonnie Tyler. I have one of her albums somewhere. She has a very husky voice, doesn't she? She was one of Jim Steinman's creations. He always created images of women who were kind of tragic. And Bonnie Tyler, of course, he transformed her from a country and western star into a rock chick. She has the big hair, husky voice. Some people say she had surgery to create that voice of hers. But I don't know, but it's a beautiful voice. Total Eclipse of the Heart, I think, was a hit in many countries about the dark side of love. He did another one very similar to that. I mean, Jim Steinman did, because he was the writer. Bonnie Tyler, of course, is a woman, and she was a singer. Jim Steinman did another one called It's All Coming Back to Me, which was a big hit here for Celine Dion. Oh, I don't like Celine Dion. Oh, no, no. There's only two things I really hate in the world, and Celine Dion is both of them. No, I really don't like her. But fortunately, I heard the original. It's All Coming Back to Me. It was a big hit in America long before we'd ever heard of it in Britain. But a lovely song. A lovely song. I like that. The video was banned in the UK in the 1980s. I mean, the original video, because it's a little bit distasteful for British people. The original band was called Pandora's Box. A lovely song. And then, of course, Celine Dion got a hold of it. Oh, no. She shouldn't be let anywhere near songs. I never forgave her for massacring my favorite song, It's All Coming Back to Me. And then she went on to sing that song about Titanic. Oh, no, no. Take her away. Speaking of boats, though, one of my favorite movies about boats was the Poseidon Adventure. Do you remember that one? That's the one where it was a sinking ship, similar to Titanic, and they all had to escape. Very similar to Titanic. It had Shelley Winters in it. I like Shelley Winters. Well, I should say liked, because she's long gone, I think. That was a good movie, The Poseidon Adventure. They tried to remake that in the 1990s or recently. And of course, it's never the same when they remake movies. The original soundtrack of that movie was Maureen McGovern. She was a wonderful singer, a real old style ballad singing woman, you know. She became very famous because of that song. The song was called The Morning After. There's got to be a morning after, which of course was all about the boat sinking, but was also about love. That song won an Academy Award for being the best original song from a movie. Maureen McGovern's still around, but I think she's quite old now. She was very upset, I think, when they remade the movie, because she didn't have a part in it. That's what I heard, anyway. So yes, a wonderful song that. There's got to be um, a morning after. I think the song was just called "Morning After" by Maureen McGovern. You can find it on YouTube. A beautiful song, really. That went to number one in Australia in the charts, number three in Canada, four in South Africa. It was a hit here, number one in our song charts, and it became number 16 in the songs which were most popular in 1973 in Australia. Yeah. Um, The Morning After by Maureen McGovern. That wasn't the only movie song she did. She also did one for the movie. Oh, what was it called? Oh, I remember. Yes, The Towering Inferno. That's the one where the hotel or office block, I can't remember which one it was, went up in flames. And Charlton Heston, I think he was one of the main characters. He was in the fire brigades. He was a firefighter, and they had to find a way of putting the fire out. So while this fire is burning, we had Maureen McGovern singing "We May Never Love Like This Again." That was quite nice, actually. I remember watching that on TV many times. And while this tower block is burning down, Maureen is singing this love song while the credits fade into the distance. But there's something nice about watching disaster movies on TV, isn't there? It gives you a nice warm feeling inside your belly. It's burning. Yes. Anyway, do listen to that as well. We May Never Love Like This Again. Very 70s, watching a tragedy and hearing a love song at the same time playing while everyone's running for their lives. Yeah, the opening credits are a bit like that. So that was a Towering Inferno from 1974. I don't know how I managed to get from Pushing the Boat Out over to the Towering Inferno, but I will say this, they definitely pushed the boat out when they were making that movie. That must have cost them millions to make the Towering Inferno. And speaking of film companies and movie companies, I see that Warner Brothers, they're 100 years old. I think it's today or yesterday. I thought they would have been older than that, but I suppose not, though, because TV was only invented, I think, in the 1920s, wasn't it? So, 100 years later, exactly. Yeah. Warner Brothers made some fabulous things, didn't they? Famous American TV company who are still going strong. Well, that's it from me. So I hope you do something nice for yourself today. Go on, push the boat out and do something beautiful for yourself. Go on, buy yourself a nice meal. And speaking of nice meals, I'm just waiting for the supermarket shopping delivery to arrive. Oh, I hate that. I mean, because of our thing about environmentally friendly products and services, they don't bring me my shopping in bags. They arrive with a trolley and crates, and they just stand there while I have to unpack all the stuff at my front door into my own bags. No, I really don't like that because they just stand and watch me. So they bring the trolleys and the crates, they stand at the front door, they then step back and play with their mobiles or whatever. And I'm on the floor scrambling around trying to empty these crates, which they then remove. I don't know, I'm not getting any younger. I don't know how they do it. And the worst feeling about it is that there's some kind of imbalance of power because they're standing up, I'm on the floor, it just doesn't seem right because I'm supposed to be the customer, you know? But the argument is, well, if you were in the supermarket, you would pack your own bags. Yeah, I probably would, but I wouldn't be on the floor doing it. And of course, because of COVID, that's the perfect excuse, isn't it? Oh, we can't help. No, no, we can't touch your shopping. Well, you touched it when you were bringing it in or putting it into the crates. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so that's my complaint of the day. So I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. And if you did get the chance, do listen to those songs. Maureen McGovern, especially. The morning after, we may never love like this again, while the tower block is falling down. And what else? Yes, Bonnie Tyler, of course, Total Eclipse of the Heart. Don't listen to Celine Dion. No, please don't. But the original of that song, It's All Coming Back to Me, was done by Pandora's Box. The singer was Elaine Caswell. Uh, yeah, Jim Steinman was a crazy music producer who sadly died last year or the year before. And he always employed women with big hair styles who looked tragic. He had them running around old empty buildings. I think the Celine Dion video wasn't that bad. It's just her voice that upsets me. Okay, that's it from me. So catch you all again soon. See you. Bye.